Carl and Damon here from Brrraains A Head-Banging Life, gbhblofficial for short. And it's They Made What Into a TV series. We're up to episode 5 of the Halo TV show, Reckoning. Directed by Jonathan Liebesman and written by Richard E. Robbins and Stephen Kane. If you were disappointed by the lack of action in episode 4, they make up for it here.
Oh, yeah.
This is a hefty one. This is a very, very good episode.
Yeah, if you want to see the Spartans fighting, you're going to see the Spartans fighting.
Yeah, if you want more Covenant, you're going to get more Covenant. Yeah. This is a big one. But we begin on Eridius 2. But it's back in the past, because it seems like we always start with a flashback more than anything else. It's back when the Reach for Life installation was initially set up. So it was like a place that was going to be inhabitable and growing and stuff like that.
Yep.
We see Halsey and Jacob Keyes being shown around the school. And I thought that was interesting because, you know, Jacob Keyes brought into it.
Yeah, exactly. So he's also aware of certain things.
Well, I didn't quite get it at first, but it will explain itself as it goes on.
Yep.
Because as well, I was confused as they appeared to be a couple considering settling down here.
Yes.
And I presumed, oh, they must be faking that couple thing.
Yep.
But later we'll reveal they legitimately were a couple.
Yeah, exactly.
As they will finally reveal who Miranda's mother is.
Yes.
Yes. They witness a young John save one of his schoolmates from falling from a height. And the way it's implied is that early on he had leadership abilities, but also like the ability, you know, he was a saviour.
Yeah,
a saviour.
The strength and the
the nuance, the reaction, it was all there. Back in modern times, and the UNSC have arrived at the site of the second keystone. Miranda meets up with her father, Jacob, and they head off to the artifact. Along the way, it's revealed that Halsey is Miranda's mother. Mm-hmm. And I was like, at first I was like, oh, why have you played coy with that? And then I was like, you know what, it doesn't matter, it makes sense. It makes sense why, you know, and where Halsey is, you can imagine she's not exactly been what you'd call a great mother, mother of the year.
Yeah.
But then I was like, okay, that ties it in. Her and Jacob were a couple for a time then, basically. Yep. The UNSC are trying to get the keystone out of the cave because it's a big, it's like stuck inside like this big freaking crystal almost. And take it back to Reach. Chief is looking at the keystone and Katana suggests the power of this keystone is stronger than the other. And Halsey orders John to stay away from it for now. Probably for the best, considering what keeps happening to him every time he touches one.
Yep.
On Madrigal, Soren and Quan have escaped, but their bike has broken down. He then handcuffs Quan to it while he goes to find a way off planet. Yeah. Basically, you're going to stay right here. There is a funny scene as he does give her some water, and in her frustration, she throws it away, and then realised that was a really dumb thing to do. I did like that.
It was funny, but again, this is like the slow part.
Yeah, because again, I didn't really get where this was going.
I mean, he's left her there, but it's like your ship got discovered. So, not a good idea to leave her right in the open. It could be hours.
Well, I got the impression that they drove far enough away.
Yeah,
that kind of thing. Yeah. Miranda greets and congratulates Halsey and asks to run some of her own tests, but Halsey just isn't listening to her. And you do get a face on Miranda here as well.
Yeah.
Silver Team are relaying orders to UNSC grunts, while Kai wonders what the Covenant's actual end goal is beyond wiping out humanity. Her questions get the ire of Vanek, and I was like, to me this was important, is it shows the difference now between a Spartan with the pellet and a Spartan without the pellet.
Yep.
Is Kai's asking questions, Vanek is just like, why?
Yes.
What difference does it make? It makes no difference.
Yeah, again, it's great acting by both of them.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. Outside, Chief notices what Kai did to her hair and intercepts her. From a distance, he's like, the fuck's with her?
Yep.
And he goes to intercept her, taking her to the side and revealing immediately that he knows she removed her inhibitor. But he isn't happy about this at all, because her excitement concerns him. And you do see it, and she's sort of like so overexcited about it.
Yeah.
And he's just not happy about it, so he grounds her. Basically, you're not combat ready. And he grounds her. She questions his behaviour as she knows he removed his, and Katana agrees with her, but Master Chief tells Katana to shut up and Kai walks off angrily.
I kind of agree with him in a way because she's now a danger and
But so is he.
He's Master Chief.
So
she's a grunt.
He's making presumptions for her.
Of course.
Do you know what I mean?
Is that, again, this is why I thought, is this because he cares for her in a way he shouldn't care for her?
Oh God, please stop going down that road. Damon is worried. Damon is worried that they're going to do a love story between Master Chief and Kai.
They're going to. I'm telling you, they're going to.
I really hope they don't. I really hope they don't.
It does not need it.
I really hope they don't. We see that Mackie and the Covenant are Madrigal and plan to track the Keystone energy. So apparently left like an energy signature behind. All right, it's a little convenient, but I'll accept it. Meanwhile, Kwan is trying to get out of her situation, but the handcuffs are strong. She's constantly trying to break the handcuffs with rocks, but the rocks keep shattering. But she does instead manage to break a bit of the bike off, though, and get free.
Yep.
So they laugh at that. He's like, okay, that'll work.
Yep.
Chief is reporting to Jacob Keyes, telling about his memories and so on. And Chief confides in him that he believes Halsey is lying to him. And I thought this was good because this is where we're in the know and he's not. Because we know Jacob is got more details than we know. Jacob seems to be playing Chief based off what we saw at the start. And he promises to look into things once they get the Keystone back to Reach.
I like that scene because he looks deep into him and it looks like I promise you.
Yeah, but we know he's lying.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's interesting layers again.
Yep.
As we immediately cut to Jacob and Halsey reporting to Parangoski about Chief. Parangoski accuses Halsey of having her own agenda. No shit. Halsey then goes down the blackmail route, suggesting that she will reveal the truth to all the higher-ups, who will then have Parangoski fall on her sword. So basically, you're involved in this, what we did to the Spartans, what we're doing now. And if you don't let me get on with it, I will reveal it all to them and they will sack you.
Yep.
Yeah. Halsey then goes on to say that Chief will be fine before Jacob demands that Miranda be taken out of the group and taken out of the team completely, as she isn't complicit in this at all. So by removing her from it, his view is that she can't be blamed when things go wrong.
Yep.
And it's a decent thing to do.
Yeah.
You know she's not going to be happy, but I get his motivations.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. In the Keystone Chamber, Halsey's assistant is using a laser on like the crystal surrounding the Keystone. And, well, we're off and rolling.
Yep.
It causes a small crack that sees the thing react in a way that sends out like a massive signal that damages equipment, electronic, and causes piercing pain to pretty much everyone around it.
Yeah.
Like pain enough that they're dropping on their knees, screaming in pain.
Yeah.
It's so powerful that Maquis and the Covenant pick up this signal on Madrigal, and she's able to communicate with the energy left by the original to see exactly where the new Keystone is. So you're like, here we go.
Yep.
Admittedly, I didn't think they'd do it this episode. I thought, oh, well, that'll be the next episode.
Oh,
then.
yeah, it'll be them going to the planet.
Yeah, absolutely. The only ones seemingly not affected by the signal are the Spartans. And that, I think, is because they got the helmets on.
Yep.
And John gets to the chamber as the Keystone breaks free and the signal stops. Everyone's okay, bit disorientated, but whatever. Miranda was able to monitor it while this was happening, as worked out it was communicating with something else. She tells us that Jacob reveals now that she's being taken off the project. Obviously, she's disappointed and accuses her dad of being played by Halsey. But Jacob orders her to cease all work on the project and leaves. She goes on the route of stop being a dad and becomes, a commander and orders her to stop work. The UNSC are now preparing to get the Keystone off the planet. John asks Cortana to find out details of his adoption, and she tells him that the files were lost, but John continues to push, including asking about the Spartan programming.
Yep.
So he's pushing and pushing and pushing here. But Cortana doesn't know about it as well. But you can tell, right, when she says this, I don't know about that. She sounds puzzled.
Yes.
Like, she's like, why don't I know about that? I should know about that, right?
So basically, it's like she's also being blocked by Halsey. Yeah.
By Halsey.
Yeah.
Jacob then orders her to... Sick of the lack of answers, John then he's doing all this while walking through the camp.
Yep.
And he's getting no answers, so he walks straight up to the Keystone and touches it. And what does he see? Halsey and ONI troopers kidnapping him as a child and replacing him with a clone of himself. So that's a pretty big deal.
Oh, yeah.
John breaks the link as Halsey arrives, and he is furious and jumps to kill Halsey. However, before he can get to her, Cortana disables him using their mental link, so he collapses to the ground. So you're like, okay, this is a big step forward.
Yep.
Yeah. Soren arrives back to where he left Kwan in a vehicle and finds her gone. He finds the bike, tracks that, but Kwan is able to get the drop on him and knocks him out.
I like to see when he sees the bike, he's like, for fuck's
sake. Yeah, it is a bit like...
why am I babysitting a child?
Yes, it is a bit like, why am I putting myself through this now?
Yeah.
John awakens and finds out what happened. Halsey has disappeared as Cortana tries to talk some sense into John. He does stop in his tracks, though, when she reports a slip space rupture. The Covenant are here. Mm-hmm. And it's a battle. Yep. Guys, you want battle? This is it. The Covenant take out their air support and then launch an assault on the UNSC. The order is to get the Keystone to Miranda's ship, which is still okay, and get it off planet. Master Chief gets a weapon, meets up with the rest of the Silver Team, and heads out to the battle. Just in time for the Covenant, who are dropping ground troops now. This is... it's going to be hard to recap a lot of the action in this, so we're going to pick up some certain points. There's a hilarious point where Cortana tries to advise John in combat, and he replies with saying, I know how the game is played, Cortana. Look, I get how you might think that is cheesy or silly. I was amused by it. There's also a really good, and there's a brief moment, you see the guy getting murdered by the needler? On the back of a warthog. He gets hammered with needlers and he just explodes in the gore. And he's like, poor you, dude, poor you. Chief ends up having to get into that warthog because that's the one carrying the Keystone, and the rest of the Silver Team join him as they head towards Miranda's ship, which is currently blowing up. Because I was like, oh, that's awkward. More and more Covenant arriving, and the UNSC are getting slaughtered. They're getting wrecked here, you know? Halsey orders John to bring the Keystone to her and sees Miranda escaping from her destroyed ship, so she rushes out to help her. Kai, though, seeing the horror of battle, is struggling, and her shield is dropped, and she's getting beaten up by the Covenant. So you're kind of right about Kai not being battle ready. Yeah, because with the emotion pellet gone, she kind of sees... She looks around and just sees dead UNSC everywhere.
And again, obviously, you see with John too, with the emotional too.
And obviously the Covenant see this as an opportunity to take down a Spartan. But Chief sees her down. He then disobeys Halsey's order and goes to save her, jumping onto a Covenant ship while the Warthog with the other Spartans and the Keystone is blown up, knocking them all down. Chief is able to smash the ship into the bigger Covenant dropship, which then blows up, killing a lot of the Covenant ground troops.
That was a cool scene. That was a really, really cool scene.
It's a badass Spartan moment. It's a badass Master Chief moment. He then goes about killing the remainder in spectacular style as other Covenants attempt to finish Kai off. We do get as well shots of FPS here, where we cut to like John's first person screen, so you get your little game moment there as well. John is able to save her though, even though she's badly wounded. Kai tells him to get the Keystone, but he's too late. The Covenant take it, a particular big one comes along, and escape. And as the Covenant corvette escapes the planet, a drop pod, which contains Maquis, is dropped off and left behind. You do hear her telling one of the elites, make it look convincing. So you can see what her plan is to try and infiltrate the UNSC HQ.
Yeah, she's here to kill John, the demon.
I disagree. This is the end of... I think this is the fall of Reach. So Halo Reach is a game, and it's a prequel to Halo 1, 2 and 3, all the Halo games. It's called Halo Reach, and is set around the fall of Reach, the destruction and end of Reach. The Covenant don't know where Reach is. With Maquis, they will know where Reach is. I'm wondering if, and I'm putting it out there, we haven't watched it yet, so I could be wrong, but I'm wondering if episode 8 and 9 is the destruction of Reach. I feel like that's where we're going. Because that's where the other Keystone is. You need both.
True.
You need both. Chief approaches the pod as Maquis crawls out. She pretends to be hurt and falls unconscious in front of him. And that's where this episode ends. Brilliant! Brilliant for story progression. Brilliant for action. Just fun.
Yeah, literally, I mean, overall, it covered everything, you know. It had the funniness, the banter, you know, when John's fighting a big guy, Katana goes like, he goes, I need a weapon. Are you sure that's big enough? Or something
yes,
like
are you sure? Yeah.
Just like some funny banter, obviously the emotion of Kai and John. You know, again, I'm going to say it again.
No, I'm not accepting it because I disagree. I don't think it's a thing. I'm not accepting it. The emotion I get, the emotion from the being grounded and then her having to be part of the team and getting hurt and injured, it's not that. It's to show that what I feel like it's trying to show you is that the Spartans being humanized, they can't operate as well as they could. I think that's very important.
Do you know what my argument for that is the fact that he didn't give as much emotion when his other friends got blown up in the truck.
But he didn't see that. That was behind him. He was focused on Kai.
Yeah.
And you could argue him taking down the Covenant dropship was saving everybody.
It was, of course.
Don't forget, when he lands, after the dropship blows up and like it kind of explodes and kills up the Covenant, he lands... And you get that shot of like the UNSC, Jacob, all looking at him. Like they momentarily remember this is Master Chief. And there's a reason why he is Master Chief, and
Oh,
why
yeah.
the Covenant call him Demon, and all of this. We're reminded of that. Because we've got so used to call him John almost. You
Of
forget
course.
that, no, this is the battle version. And all this worry about whether he was okay or not, he's fine.
Yeah, of course.
When it comes down to it, he'll be fine. The problem was with Kai seemingly seemed a horror of what the Covenant were doing. You know?
Yep.
Too much, maybe, too fast.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if they're going to go down the route with Kai choosing to put a pellet back in.
I guess that is possible.
That's what I'm just wondering. And but that's for future episodes. This was just really strong overall.
Yep.
The only thing it lacked was development heavily on the Quan thing. Quan and Soren are briefly in this, and
Yeah.
it doesn't go anywhere beyond escape from the bike, and that's it.
Yeah. Again, I still interested to see what's going to happen with that part of the story. So, but
What I like though really is they really pushed the Halsey thing forward here.
Yes.
They really, really did. And they dragged Jacob Keyes into it. They dragged Parangoski deeper into it to make it sound like, right, shit's been going down that even higher ups in the UNSC aren't going to be happy about.
well, I mean, it also makes you obviously question it's like, where's it going to go now? Because John is now done with Halsey.
Yes, there is that. How he can't just put this behind him. Obviously, the idea that they've been kidnapping children and then replace them with clones, that is pretty fucking dark.
Yep.
But yeah, it's going to be interesting stuff. That's episode 5, Reckoning of Halo TV series. Got any thoughts and you know what to do? Let us know in the comments. Thank you very much for watching. If you liked what you saw, please help us out by giving us a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. If you really liked what you saw, consider donating to keep the website and channel running by buying us a coffee via our coffee page or picking up some merch from our Big Cartel store. You can check us out on gbhbl.com as well as via our social media, Facebook, Instagram and Twitter, as well as listen to our interviews via SoundCloud, Apple Music and Spotify. Just search for GBHBL. Games, horror and heavy metal. What else is life for?